Hi, it's David here from Elevate Founders. One of the questions we've had in recently is around how to deal with self-doubt as a business leader. And it's a really important question, and I think there's usually kind of two places that it stems from. So if you're really just struggling with self-doubt, questioning yourself, that can be quite a hard position to be in. You might feel inauthentic with your team, might lead to sort of anxiety, struggling to kind of pitch the business and all those kind of things. But it is also quite a common problem for a lot of business owners, for a lot of entrepreneurs that I meet, is that self-doubt can creep in at certain times. And you might go, oh no, I'm full of confidence, I'm all good all the time, and something happens and it kind of knocks that confidence a bit. Or it might be something that you just kind of always had and it hasn't really gone away in running your own business. So I think there are two kind of ways, there's probably a whole load more, but the two most common that I see often with people is, number one, it comes from a lack of self-regard. So how accepting you are of yourself. That doesn't mean how much you love yourself, it's nothing to do with arrogance, it's purely how accepting are you of you and how well do you treat you. That probably doesn't make an awful lot of sense, but hopefully this will. If you're the kind of person who continually puts yourself down in your kind of self-talk in your head, you come out of a meeting going, oh, you could have done that a whole lot better, or that was rubbish, why do you always do stupid things like that? That can be a sign of low self-regard, can be a sign of kind of talking yourself down a lot. One way to think about it would be, if you had a friend who talked to you like you talk to yourself, would you be friends with them? That's kind of another way of looking at that. Now, to help with that self-doubt and help kind of improve that, it's actually one of the things that we measure in our emotional intelligence test that we often do with entrepreneurs and their senior teams, and it's actually a cornerstone piece of emotional intelligence, so it's really important to get right. So there's a couple of ways that you can deal with it. One would be to sort of think about how you treat yourself and to stop yourself when you feel as though you're talking down to yourself, and just to even make a note of how many times you do it in an hour or a day or whatever it is. I had one client and we were going through their emotional intelligence report and they said, oh, I'm surprised I don't really think of though as though I've got low self-regard. I said, okay, well, would you mind if every time you put yourself down or talk down to yourself, I just brought it to your attention? I just said, oh, you just did it again. Not in a rude way, just to sort of bring it to your conscious attention. Anyway, they did it, I think, 3 or 4 times in the next 15 minutes of the meeting, where they said, things like, I prepare a meeting, I go in as prepared as I can, but I always find a way to mess it up. That can be a sign of low self-regard. So that's kind of really worked on that, and that's had a huge impact for them across their work. So that's self-doubt, and that's something that, again, we can look at. So if you're interested in doing an emotional intelligence profile, please get in touch. We'd happily do that because I think they're really important as a tool to grow leadership. The other side can be almost that kind of imposter syndrome that people talk about, of fearing that you might be being seen to be a fraud, or you might go into a meeting, you say something as though you're an authority on it for your business, which is really important, and then someone in the room goes, no, that's absolutely rubbish, I'm a world expert in it, and you don't know what you're talking about. And a lot of people can often suffer with that self-doubt and manifesting itself into imposter syndrome, as we call it. Now, recently I've been really challenged on this because I think actually imposter syndrome, if in a healthy place in the mind, is a really good and really positive thing, if it's in a really healthy place in the mind. Most entrepreneurs know that they don't know a whole load of stuff. That's why they go and employ brilliant people to help them in a whole load of different things. And so it's just being really clear, if that is something that you're struggling with or is there, don't worry, you're not alone. Lots of entrepreneurs struggle with it. It's not uncommon, but just put really good people around you, people around that you can trust and get their counsel from, get their advice, get their wisdom, that'll help you become better and help the business become better as well. If it has got into a negative place, again, it might well be linked to self-regard, so have a think about that and look at some of the suggestions there we talked about as how to kind of change that and improve that. But don't leave it too long. Don't carry on as though it's not a problem and it'll just go away, and when you get your next funding round it'll all be sorted. These things rarely ever go away. So it's much better to deal with it, find someone you can talk to, work through it, change perspective on it, change thinking patterns around it, and that will really help you as you grow your business. Thank you so much for that question that came in. I hope that gives an answer to really help you. If not, just comment below and I will give it a little bit more, or perhaps look at it from a different perspective for you. Thanks so much for watching this video. Look forward to seeing you on the next one. If you enjoyed this video and want more top coaching tips that are going to help you grow as a leader and grow your business, please subscribe to the YouTube channel on the link below and follow us on LinkedIn on the link too.